So eventually later on, as you keep playing, you're going to end up with friends and you're going to end up with a lot of enemies. Usually more enemies than friends simply because of the way they have this set up. Now, one of the most common and arguably the most irritating ways someone can hit back at you or hit you is when you have multiple maps going to your home map, looking around where your home base normally pops up at, seeing what's there. Maybe you left a production queue accidentally going, or maybe you went offline and you just created 20 groups of fodder, anything, Cyno, Aquin. Bottom line is, that's a prime and very common target for just about anybody to go after. Now, depending on the individual who's going after you, they may use something disposable or dispensable, like in Aquin here. Generally speaking, when I do this to other people on other maps, I don't like using them simply because they're way too slow and they don't have the maximum range. Personally, what I do when I do this to other people, or other players rather, I'll use a Rabo, I'll use a Curie, or I'll use a Spiel. More often than not, it's going to be a Rabo, simply because I have plenty of them, and there's no need to make any more, or make anything different. So the question then becomes, what do you do to get rid of the enemies off your map? If they're using an invisible Rabo, or they're using an invisible ship, you can't exactly go around and see it. And if you look at the minimap at the top right hand corner, you see you have a massive amount of area to search. Well, what do? In truth, there is only one way to do this. You have to use detects to find those ships. But looking at the size of the minimap and how much surface area you actually have to go through to actually find these, that's also assuming they didn't send them back through the wormhole. But more often than not, they're not going to, because it's not worth it. It becomes more expensive as far as with fuel costs and titanium costs to transfer it back and forth than to simply leave it on the map somewhere. So what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is show you the method that I use, which I personally, if someone wants to show me a different method, go for it. But I'm going to show you the most efficient way, I believe, to search through this entire map in a grid formation to find all of the potential enemy ships that are on here. So what I'm going to do that with is obviously detector ships. So currently I have 5 on this map. That's generally what I use as well. I'm going to go ahead and put them in a pile here. I'll wait for them to congregate. So in the meantime, we've got 4 corners here. Now these 4 corners, oftentimes they're prime places to stash ships. Everybody does it. Personally, I don't do it that often, simply because it is a common go-to place as far as searching for these ships are concerned. So the best way to do this is to do this in a grid formation using the X and Y axis. Now, this will take a good amount of time. Most people, including myself, I don't have the time to sit here the whole time while these detects do their searching. So what we're going to do, because we own this entire map, and I'll do another one where I don't own the whole map, or we don't own the whole map. It's a little bit more complicated, and it takes a little bit longer because you have to, generally speaking, you should be sitting down, otherwise you're going to run into an enemy planet, or you have to set up your lines so you skim right past it but not actually hit the planet itself. In either case, I'll show you how to do both. But what we're going to do is we're going to start here at the top right-hand corner. I'm sorry, top left-hand corner. And we're going to go from left to right, down, then right to left. And we're going to do that all the way down until we hit the bottom of the map. Now, I know you're probably thinking, you've got to be kidding. This is going to take forever. And you're right. You're absolutely correct. It is going to take forever. But it's either that, or you keep getting your ships blown up. I mean, what are you going to do? You don't really have a choice unless you can remember to, after each ship that you make, or each queue that you have, to move it over to a friendly planet. And we're all human, we all forget things. We're all going to forget to do that. You're going to lose production every time someone hits you. Alright, so I'm going to start moving these up here. And yes, as I'm doing the search, I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up because this will be like an hour-long video if I don't. Now, because most people don't have time to sit here throughout the entire time these things go searching, what you need to do is you need to make sure that all of your detects, they are at 100%. I know this one's at 99 here, but I'm not going to take the time to go back, heal it, and bring it back out. We'll just know that one's at 99. But you need to keep these all at 100%. Reason being is when we start sending these across, you need to pay attention to where they're at as far as the grid is concerned, which number that they're at. Because if they get to the other side and you see there is a percentage loss on one of your detect ships, you'll know that along the line at which they travel, they actually hit something. So you need to make note of that. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time and potentially wasting a detect ship, depending on how much is actually there or what it runs over. Something else you need to make sure you have before you start this, you need to make sure that you have enough fuel. Individually, these may not burn a lot. Let's take a look here. They burn 450 fuel. So now you're going to be multiplying that by 5, and you're just going to keep doing it continuously. So this is going to burn through that 8 million in no time flat. So anyhow, let's go ahead and start this. Let's start all the way up here at the top left hand side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to deselect all of these. Go to the right hand side of our map. Now we can't get all the way in the corner because of the mini map. So we're going to go right to the left hand side of the mini map that you see here. This is where our grid is going to come into play. Notice right here, you have your moving numbers again. This is your X and Y axis. We've referenced this many times in other videos. Using this is vital to your success at scanning the entire map. What we're going to do, well, first off, let's take a look at the view. Detects can see ships as far as 25 paces away or 25 numbers away. So because I like to overlap a little, I don't want to accidentally leave any area unscanned. I'm going to put each one at 20 paces away. So I'm going to hit the 3 horizontal bars here, choose select, choose your first detect, hit the exit. That's going to keep one of these selected over here at the top left. We're going to choose a nice round number. Let's start at 21. I'm sorry, 20. Click. That's going to start on its way over. We're going to deselect the one we just had, select a brand new one, put the next one at 40. Repeat the same process. 60. 80. And obviously 100. As you see, they'll start to stagger here at the top left. This is going to scan every 20 paces, overlapping by 5, because they have a max view of 25. But this is the method that we're going to use to scan the entire map. You'll find little MAU and things like that throughout here. That's not really what we're looking for here, but you'll find this kind of stuff throughout all the, pretty much any map that you're on, really. Remember, one of the best places, at least for me, one of the best places is to hide a Rabo or a stealth ship on an enemy planet that doesn't have a detector on it. This will run over all of your planets, throughout your entire map and find everything. Even though this isn't a stealth ship, I'm going to go ahead and take care of it here. Go ahead and send these up here. I didn't know all these POLAS were on these maps here. We must have had a lot of noob accounts here at some point when this was a brand new map. It's been a while. This is map 262, man. It's been at least a year and a half. And we're getting down to the end here, at least to this first row. Alright, so we found nothing. That's good. Now we gotta go start on the other side. At least go all the way back over. Now to do this, we do the same thing, only we do it in reverse. So we left off at 100. So now we have to go all the way back over here and start at 120. That's going to give us complete coverage of the map. So now you're faced with which one do you choose? Well, I do the exact opposite. If I started with the one all the way to the left, I'm going to start with the one all the way to the right. That way I don't actually miss any surface area. Gotta go back over here. Okay, starting at 120. Deselect, next one. 140. $60. $80 and $200. And we just sit back, wait here for everything to get checked. As you can see, this can be quite a long process, so maybe you want to do something else while this is going on. Me personally, I'm gonna keep an eye on it just because I'm making a video here. Normally I wouldn't stick around this entire time. Normally I would be waiting for it to complete to the other side and waiting for a specific impact. Now, is it quicker to stay here? Yeah, it is. You don't have to re-go over it, or you don't have to retrace your steps if you have an impact point. But oftentimes you got something else to do. It's easiest just to let these go to the other side and wait for an impact point. Like I said, this can be a long waiting game, but if you've got someone doing this to you, this is the only way to take care of the entire map. And we have an impact point right here. Since it was right over the planet easily took care of it. This also put us down to 70%, so we need to make sure, or at least make note of, if you don't have time to go and heal it before you do the next round here, just make note of that you have this particular one at 70%. Alright, that looks like round number 2 is now concluded. So far we found 1. Now we're going to move on to round number 3. Also make sure, like I said earlier, you need to make sure that you take note at the percentage levels of your detects here. For instance, if you, like I said earlier, if you get up to go away and you're not running one over an enemy planet, at least an enemy to them, in which case it would be destroyed. But if you don't know where that impact point was, you're going to have to run along this again. You're not going to know where or how to do that unless, of course, you know the percentage at which your detects were. Alright, so let's double check here. 200. Off to the right-hand side. Come on, there we go. 220. 240. 260. 280, and obviously the last one is 300. So you may be asking yourself, well, why can't you both take care of any enemy ships? Oh, is that one here? Yep, impact point right here on an enemy planet. the planet's going to take it out. Take note of the 67%. So that's so far 2 Rabos that we found on this map. But anyhow, like I was saying, you may be asking yourself, well, why can't you both destroy the ships as you're going across them, or as you pinpoint or light them up with other ships rather than relying on your planet? Because not every time you're going to be running over an enemy planet for that ship. And the reason is, well, you don't have to. You can always. Boy, I need to get the guns up on that planet. Let's go ahead and move these for the time being. No, never mind. Anyhow, these are moving at a speed of 3. You would need to trail along with it and a little bit behind enough ships that are not only 3 in speed. So you've got your Len here. You got a few other ones that do level 3 speed. But you got to make sure that you have enough of them, and oftentimes it's not going to take care of it, because I mean, unless you have an awful lot trailing behind. Because the minute that D-Tech goes away, that stealth ship is no longer going to be lit up. You need to both make sure it is lit up and something is firing on it. Or if that D-Tech goes away, something has to maintain continuous fire for it to stay lit up. So sure, you can have ships trailing behind here to do that. You know, for some of you that may be easier than doing this. But you're going to need a significant amount of groups to do that. I would say at least 3 times the amount of groups that you see here. We have 5 here. If you wanted to do that, no, you know what? Actually, I think you need more than that. At maybe 4 to 5 times the amount of groups here, because they're just going to keep moving along. A significant number of ships trailing behind to take care of whatever you may come across. As far as stealth ships are concerned. Now, other ships, with the exception of TIGs, they'd be a different story. But these stealth ships, because of the armor, because of the firepower that they have, it's easier just to let these go, at least for my purposes here. It's easier just to let these go and come back and go to the impact point when it's all said and done. Just as a side note, one of the places that you always want to check and double check whenever you're on your map here, check around all of the wormholes. It's very common for an enemy to just toss one of their ships, be it stealth or not, right by a wormhole, so it's easier access and quicker access to get across if they want. I personally don't do that. At least I don't do it anymore. You eventually learn the hard way. You lose a lot of ships doing that. Oh, looks like we found one. Yep. Now, see what just happened there? You would have to have a lot of ships trailing behind to take that out, because at level 3, as far as the speed is concerned, it goes pretty fast. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pull my 2 Rabos down here, then I'm going to light it up again. And then I'll have this continue along its way. Something else to take note. Your Rabo will always default to fire on your D-Tech before anything else. And while that's traveling to the end here, let's go ahead and find a ring to heal this ship up here. Alright, now we're simply going to continue here. Take note, I now have a detect at 44%. One's at 67, one's at 70. Gotta make sure that you know your the percentages. You're eventually gonna have to heal them up or bring in new ones. Alright, let's start sending these back over here. We're at 300 now, so we're gonna start at 320. 340. 360. That clip. 380. And eventually 400. And as long as you keep it at this pace, they will always go in a staggered grid formation. And full disclosure here, there originally was not anything on this map. I pulled a couple of players from Discord and asked them to randomly throw Rabos and other ships on this map so we could go ahead and make this video here so I could go ahead and show you this. When it's all said and done, I'm going to go ahead and ask them how many they put on here because I have no idea. And we'll see if we caught them all. If you see the screen flicker to gray like that, or like this here, I'm doing stuff on and off screen, and every time you click off of the active screen here, it does that. It's really irritating, so I'm trying to keep it off that gray screen as much as possible while still doing stuff on the other side here.
Japanese music here.
And for those of you who are wondering why I'm willing to show you where all of our ships are on here, trust me, anything that you see on here now, like for instance this pile down here, it is not going to be here come a half hour as long as the owners are on. But the ships that you see chilling around here, they're not going to be in the same positions. Compromising a map like this is not a good idea. We do a lot of storage here, as well as other maps as well. Yeah, looks like we might make it through here without hitting anything. Oh, I take it back. We've got one here, right here in the corner. Gotta move that or we're gonna lose it. Alright, so we know that is right here. You know, I think it'll be quicker if we take this Aquin and bring it over rather than wait for a Rabo to come all the way across the map. Actually, you know, let's find out here. Aquin are right here on the mini map. Let's send it right here. And let's see how long it takes a Rabo to get over. In the meantime, let's heal this sucker up a little bit. Actually, you know what? It's not gonna be worth it. Looks like I might just use 4D text for a little bit. Till this, I'd like to see it at least at 50%. Oh yeah. Aquin made it here much more quickly. You know what? These have a speed of 2. Just for the sake of giving it a shot, I'm going to send a few Aquin along with each D-Tech to be a part of the sweep. The Aquin will make short work of that Rabo real quick. Alright, let's see. How many Aquin do we have here? Alright, so we have 14. So it's not going to be an even number, but that doesn't matter. Alright, so we left off at 400. While our other D-Tech is healing up a little bit, we're just going to do 4 in a row. Gosh, which one is it? Okay, so it's this one here that we need to leave and let heal. So while we have this selected, let's select... Yeah, let's do 4 at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go down here. Fine, 420. Funny, 420. Get it out of your system. Alright, 420. $440. $460. And 480. Eventually, everything will trail behind it as it should be. It may take a minute for it to get into position here, though. Now remember, these D-Techs are an entire point value higher or faster than these Aquin are, so they're going to go a lot more quickly across. Yeah, you can already see the difference. It's very unlikely that these will be timed in any sense of the word as far as their ability to take something out, even with the way they are here. It looks kind of cool, but As far as function goes, I don't think they're gonna work properly. Now, your best bet is still to do just the detect some. If you really want to try to take them out at the same time, I personally think Len, they're going to be your best option. The only thing is you're going to have a bunch of them. I would say at least 5 groups. Oh, you know what? I forgot about Brahms here. They also have a speed of 3. Maybe 3 or 4 Brahms to 1 detect. Yeah, that may actually be worth trying out here. Alright, let's wait for this to complete. You know what? I'm not even going to trail these behind it. They're so far behind. They wouldn't do anything in conjunction with what's up here. What I'm going to do, because I'll probably end up using these more often than not to take out enemy ships once we come across them. I'll send a few randomly on the map here just to chill out in hopes that we'll be close to one if, we come across one. Or another one, rather. Let's see what it takes like only 20%. Take a look at our fuel. I'm glad I looked here. We're at 1.4 million, down from I think it was 8.4 million. So let's go ahead and transfer another 10 million. Map 262. Actually, I need to queue up. Fuel on another map here. Give me one moment. 41 and 42 I use for... I'm not going to be able to put it on here yet, so we'll just do 42. I use 41 and 42 for fuel production. If you have one with one planet, you maximize the amount of fuel or any resource that you can make on one particular map. Alright, it looks like we're clear. Let's go ahead and continue on here. Stopped at 480. Next we need is 500. $520. 540. Now let's get back up here. And 560. Accidentally clicked off the map there. remember one being at 88%. I'm gonna have to go back and look. It's quite possible I ran over one when I was off the map. I'm not sure though. Oh, that shows you right there. That's why you need to pay attention. Oh well. We'll figure it out here in a little bit. Looks like we're still good here. Oh, we've got one here. Night Wolf. You know what? We'll go ahead and leave this one here. It'll be quicker to get our Rabos over here. Now, if you want to take out Rabos much more efficiently and you have Tigs lying around, use your Tigs. Tigs shred through Rabos in no time at all. They do it very, very, very quickly. Alright, now we need to continue along with this grid. We've lost a total of 40 paces and we need to continue along with it properly. So, we need to go back to where we left off here, which was 520. Go all the way down at the end. Oh, I was wrong. Not 520, 540 is where it was. My mistake. And we'll just have it continue here. You know what, while I'm waiting for this to come back over, I'm going to send these off to get a few extra point values as far as healing goes. I thought I had more time. Oh well. I might as well send them all back over. Help get it done a little bit quicker here. Like I said, this can be quite time consuming. Make sure you've got enough time to burn. In truth, most people probably won't go to this extent and this length to do all this. But I'm not your I'm not your normal average player. I will go to any length to do this. Alright, so we left off at 560. We need to continue at 580. 600, 620, 40, and 60. Oh, and we caught another one from Boom Boom. Let's move her back here. Bring our Rabos down. Let's move it out of range for the time being. Ah, we've got another one here. So 2 in 1 row. Let's go ahead and light her up real quick here. Send her back on her way. So 640. This is getting down here at 25%. We gotta send this to a ring to heal it up. Oh, what have we got here? Oh, just an empty MAU. Nothing to worry about. Man, these are all pretty heavily damaged. Alright, so continue along this side here at 680. Then we'll hit 700. 720, 740, and 760. Eventually, actually I'll do this the next round here once they get across, but once you get faster at it, you can select them all and quickly deselect them as they're starting to make their way across the map. You'll end up saving a few minutes here and there, and it actually, overall, throughout the entire length of time, because, collectively it is a long time, you will save a little bit of time, and it becomes worth it. And it's still just as effective. Man, you can almost take a nap. This takes such a long time. So far, we've been at this for, well, like I said, I'm going to speed up the time here, but so far I've been at this for about an hour and 15 minutes. It looks like we got through without hitting anything here. Go ahead and send them across again once this last one gets through here. Alright, this is how I'm gonna well, you know, it's up to you how you want to do it. Me personally, this is how I actually do it. I don't do it like this. As far as selecting and deselecting each and every one, simply because it takes too long, and I try to make things go as quickly as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select them all. Going to go down here. We left up. Oh gosh, we left off at 760. So we're going to click at 780. Then we're going to deselect 800. Deselect 820. Oh gosh, I'm not even at the other end. I screwed that up. Let's start this over here. We'll start again with 800. So we have 800, deselect 820, deselect 840, oh, where are we at? Deselect 60 and 80. It gets him going a little bit faster, and it still does the same job. Anyhow, I'm sure you've got the gist of it here. I'm still going to go ahead and finish off the map just so I can complete this entire map. But generally speaking, this is the best way to do this. Are there other ways to do it? Sure. But this, for the most part, this is the most efficient. Alright, so after that break here, let's go ahead and continue. These should be, if they're not completely done, they'll be almost, which they are. Just like the lowest one is 85% there. Alright, let's go ahead and get these back into position. I don't remember exactly where we left off at, so let's go ahead and start at, you know what, let's start at 880. I think we were somewhere around there. So we will continue where we left off at 900. Then we go at 920. 40. 60. And 80. There we go. I think we'll have maybe 3 more, maybe 4 more at the most as far as sweeps are concerned. Now, if this were legitimate and I was actually looking, really looking for players, for whatever reason, being on a map of mine, I would also do the outer edges one more time. But I would do it in a square, almost. I'd go up the left-hand side, over the top right, down, then back over. And I would do that a few times until we got into where the planets were. Then I'd call it quits. What can I say? I'd like to be thorough. And it looks like we're going to get through unscathed yet again here. I actually did put a few Rabos on here to make this, help make this video for us, so. Alright. Here we'll be starting at 980. So 1,000, 1,020, 40, 60, and 80. Yeah, we'll do one more sweep after this, and that's all we'll have to do. So if you stuck around for this whole thing, thank you. This is when you actually end up doing this in game, it takes quite a lot of time, and you'll often have to do this, especially if, like I said, you've got people constantly coming over to your maps, your home maps, your stash maps, which I don't know about you, but Prometheus, we have combined probably over 300 stash maps. So when you have that kind of real estate that you have to keep secure, you gotta have a method, or at least some kind of a rhythm or proven way of doing this to get it done as quickly as possible. Eventually, the people who are hitting you on your home maps or your stash maps, they'll eventually move on because, they get sick and tired of losing capital ships just for the sake of destroying, say some fodder or some ammo, even though at a cost-benefit ratio, it actually costs us more to do this than it costs you to lose a Rabo, believe it or not. But it isn't just about keeping your stuff secure. You always have other people, unless you own the entire map yourself, which, I've seen a few players that have done that. But unless you do own the entire map yourself, you have your other Alliance members to think of as well. And you need to clear out your maps. Make sure you have no one on there but friendly forces. I hate that timeout. Wish there was a way to change it. Oh, looks like we found one more here. Here I thought we'd be all done. Guess not. And now we definitely will do this last row. There's still one here. Alright, in our last row here. Let's see, we're leaving off with 1080. Alright, so we've got 1100. 1120. 40. 60. and 80. Yep, that'll take us to the end of the map here. You know, it did end up, we did skip this little section here. The way I did it, it ended up not actually getting it, but I'm sure we're fine. I mean, if you stuck around through this whole thing, then you get the basic idea of how to go ahead and do this. While it is not difficult to do, it is very time consuming. Maybe you're not thorough, that's fine. Maybe you just want to do the outer edges. I do the outer edges of my major maps probably once every few days. Rarely do I ever do this to an entire map. The only time I ever do this is if I'm constantly, or one of my alliance members is constantly losing something on a particular map. It really ends up becoming more of an irritant than anything else. Just about done here. And folks, that's a wrap. Once again, thank you for sticking around here. I think we nailed a good 8 Rabos, so once I go ahead and compile this and put the video together, I'll make sure to mention the names of the individuals who helped donate for this little, I guess you can call it a tutorial here. You know, I understand some of you are not this anal, you're probably not this hardcore about getting enemy ships off your map, but if you're me, you are. And yes, I am anal. I don't like ships on my maps, other than the ones that are essentially authorized. So, anyhow, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments sections. If you got anything out of the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And like I said, if you need to see anything or if you'd like to see anything else, all you need to do is shoot me over an email, catch me on Discord, or leave a message down in the comments, and I will be happy to do a tutorial or do a video about whatever you'd like to see. Alright, thank you my friends, and take care.